Hi, it's Steph, and we're at the Home Depot, and they've received all of their holiday inventory. There are beautiful evergreens in red pots and some other gift items. So let's go ahead and take a look at the November inventory at the Home Depot. Every year, they usually have a Black Friday evergreen that is in a small container like this, usually just under a 1 gallon, on a special. And this year they have a couple of varieties as well. So here is a sky pencil holly for $8.88. Now these make wonderful plants to put in your containers. So if you're removing all of your annuals, maybe your fall mums are done and your summer annuals have been long gone, you can go ahead and put some of these in those planters and they would look beautiful all winter long. You can even leave them in the spring and in the summer and tuck some plants in and around them. But sky pencil hollies are a really nice upright growing evergreen. So $8.88 for these. They also have some boxwood on this Black Friday sale for $8.88, which this price is even better than what you find in the spring for this size boxwood. Sometimes they'll have them at $9.98 or $12.98, but $8.88 is much better. So if you are looking to do a boxwood hedging project or even just to pick some up to topiary or use in some planters, this is a great price. And the fall is still a wonderful time to plant. Until your ground is frozen, you can still plant evergreens, and they maintain this beautiful form and color all season long. And they also have an emerald green arborvitae on the Black Friday sale for $8.88. Now, the emerald green is not deer resistant, so if you planned on picking up a bunch of these to put as a living fence or privacy screening, just know that if you deal with deer, you would have to protect these. But what a great price at $8.88. You can replace any of those dying mums or some of those summer annuals with one of these evergreens. And the great thing about them is that they stay evergreen all year round. So you'll have some color when everything else is dormant for the winter. Then come spring, you can tuck some pansies around them and some summer annuals when the season changes again. What a great centerpiece for a planter. These also make great hostess gifts. Going into the season of Thanksgiving and Christmas, you could pick up either a boxwood, a sky pencil holly, or even one of these emerald green arborvitaes. Throw a battery-operated LED light string around them, a bottle of wine, or a box of chocolates, and you have a wonderful gift to walk in and hand over to the hostess. And some more beautiful evergreens in their red holiday pots. Now these don't have decorative items, the ones on the center here, and some are already decorated. So we'll take a look at both. But these are also still ready to be planted now in the fall. The ground is still thawed, so unless your ground is frozen, you can still plant. You just want to make sure to keep watering your plants until the ground freezes. And they have some beautiful varieties here. This here is a Kugel. It's a western red cedar. I really like the shape of it. Look how pretty that is. And these are $26.98. And then there are some, it looks like a pyramidal cone-like type boxwood right behind it. So let's take a look at those. So the Kugel that we looked at, Western Red Cedar, likes full sun, and it gets to be 24 to 48 inches in spacing, so in height and in width, and it is hardy down to -10 degrees Fahrenheit. So very hardy, and it grows in a globe or spherical shape. Look how pretty that is. And the great thing about these that grow in a globe or spherical shape is that they will maintain this beautiful shape in the way that they grow, and you don't have to prune them to have them keep that shape. Unlike these boxwood that we're looking at here, the Green Mountain, you can see that they're growing in sort of a cone shape, right, or a pyramidal shape, but you will have to prune these to maintain this nice shape because over time, with age, they will start sending out some new growth that looks a little wild, so they'll require a little bit of pruning to look nice. So this one here, the Green Mountain, likes full sun. Now, boxwood can also take part shade. So this is one of the only evergreens that can take part sun, full sun, or part shade, and it is deer resistant, which is wonderful. This variety gets to be about 36 inches in height. It offers winter interest because it is evergreen, and it needs 24 to 36 inch spacing, hardy down to -20 degrees Fahrenheit. And these here appear to be pretty large size container. They are, let's see, doesn't say, but if I had to guess, about a 5 gallon for $59.98. Now, there are some boxwoods that take on a bit of a bronze appearance with the cooler temperatures of mid to late fall and winter, and this is one of them, the green velvet boxwood. So if you do not like this bronzy appearance, you might want to go with something like a Green Mountain because the green velvet does get a bit bronzy in the winter. And some Nellie Stevens hollies, which is a really popular variety of holly shrub tree. They get fairly large, 15 to 25 feet in height and about 15 feet spacing, so in width. Hardy down to negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit. It does state that it is deer resistant. I have found that I had a holly in my garden before, and the deer did nibble on the new growth because it was really soft. But once it hardens up and gets kind of spiky, they tend to leave it alone because they don't like the texture of it. It does like full sun, and in order to get berries, the Nellie Stevens is the female shrub. You would need a male shrub within a close enough proximity to have your female shrub bear berries. Now, a lot of times in neighborhoods, if you notice some of your neighbors have berry-bearing shrubs or hollies, then chances are there's a pollinator nearby, so you can try just picking up the female, and then within a couple of seasons, if you don't get berries, then you know you need to add a male somewhere. But these here are $34.98 for the Holly Nellie Stevens. And check out these adorable holiday planters. So these are decorative, like tin pot liners that you can sit planters inside of, so they can be reused from year to year. And these are Alberta spruces, which is like a dwarf evergreen. They only ever get to be about maybe 6 to 8 feet in height and about 3 to 4 feet in diameter. And they grow in a conical shape or pyramidal shape. They are in a number 3 container for $64.98. It comes with these extra little decorative pieces here. So it has a solar light string, so you just have to face this to the sun. And here you have some lights, and it has a little bell garland as well as a bow that you would just need to fluff up. So really cute. They also have these here with the golden bow, and these are boxwoods that are in a conical shape or pyramidal shape. Also, they have the light string and a decorative tin container here. So after the holidays, you can remove this from this decorative tin, store this for next year. You can plant that out in the landscape or plant the evergreen in some matching planters. Lots of options to choose from the decorative tin to the color of the bow, as well as which garland. So they have this one here with the glittery balls. They also have some of the wooden beads there. And those are, like I said, the boxwood, and then these are the Alberta spruce. There are also some larger Alberta spruce for $130. Those look like they're about a 7-gallon container. They also have a solar light string and a decorative bow. And then these here in a decorative planter that look to be hollies as well. And they have a houndstooth red and white bow. These are $49.98. They also have some more Alberta spruces in a 7-gallon container without the decorative lights, just a little red bow on top, and these are $79.98. And here are the arborvitaes that are more deer resistant, the green giant, and they still have lots of them available in a number 7 container. These make wonderful privacy fences and backyard screening, and they grow fast. So within about 5 years, you can have a really good privacy screen going, and these are $59.98 for the number 7. And another adorable evergreen that is still tagged by the nursery. So I was able to look it up to see how big it gets. So this Picea glauca North Pole, also known as Montrose Charm, gets to be upwards of 12 feet in height and 4 to 5 feet in diameter. So it would make a really beautiful spruce for the garden. And these here are $24.98. And some smaller Alberta spruces. These here appear to be in a number 3 container, between a 2 and a 3, and they are $49.98. Now, Alberta spruces are an evergreen that do like full sun. They are deer resistant, and there's quite a few of them in my neighborhood, and the deer do not appear to touch them. And 6 to 8 feet in height and about 36 inches or 3 feet in width is the average size of those. And here are some more spruces. These are listed as Norway spruce, and they have more of a blue coloring to them. You can see, well, next to the blue one on the side of it, it does look more green, but kind of a light green. Very pretty. These also like full sun. They get very large. Look at that picture there. This is a quintessential evergreen here. The ones they use for Christmas trees, right? 70 to 90 feet in height and 25 to 30 feet in width. Hardy, very hardy, down to negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit. But make sure you have plenty of space when bringing one of these beauties home. And these here are $29.98. Here are some more arborvitaes in decorative planters. These are larger, and look how pretty. That one has some cardinals on it, and there's some plaid, some white, and even some with gold bows in the back there. Now, some cemeteries even allow you to put plants by the gravestone, so these would even make a nice memorial gift around the holidays. So the larger one here is $39.98, and the smaller one in the front here is $29.98. Again, remember, these being the emerald green arborvitae are not deer resistant, so if you planned on putting them out in the garden and dealt with deer, something to keep in mind. But there are lots of pretty varieties. Even these small Alberta spruces here in the front are $16.98. So lots of different options in terms of the Alberta spruce. These Alberta spruces have an adorable burlap and plaid bow on them, and this size is $26.98. Now, pretty soon they'll be bringing in those little baskets that they have with the logs and the hanging baskets, so we will have to come and take a look. They also have the centerpieces that they make for holiday gatherings. Lots of pretty and exciting stuff as we head into a beautiful season. This one here is a juniper. So you can see it has a really pretty kind of upright growth habit. Junipers do like soil that leans dry and full sun. So if you put junipers in too much moisture, they can sometimes end up dying on you. So something to be aware of. Where in contrast, arborvitaes need very consistent watering. Otherwise they start to brown out and can also die. So arborvitaes like water, junipers like a bit drier. I really like these garlands that are made out of the wooden beads. They're just really pretty, even on Christmas trees. And this one here is another Alberta spruce in a decorative cardinal planter with some of these wooden bead garlands and a red bow for $54.98. And the container for the plant is a number 3. And then they have some more in the front here. But see, in contrast, these come in this decorative sleeve versus just a red pot. And they have a little red bow on them, and they're $16.98, where they had boxwoods over there on Black Friday special for $8.88. So it definitely is a good idea to just walk around the garden center and kind of take a look around to see what's available before you start shopping. And look at these with the Santa topper. You can also use this afterwards on your Christmas tree, right? Because it's just a topper. Yeah. Plastic lined inside, and these are $49.98. And these in the front here are Leland cypress, which is another really large, beautiful evergreen, for $44.98. They have a decorative bow on them, a decorative planter, and a solar light string. And now we're in the inside greenhouse, and look at this fun plant here. It's rosemary in a holiday pot. So you can put this in your kitchen. You can even change out the pot if you wanted to, and it will smell amazing. And when you want to, you can cut on it for dinner. This one's even in bloom. Look at that. There's some little purple blooms on it. Oh, it smells so nice when my arm just brushed up against it. These are $26.98. So if you're missing your herbs because things in the garden are starting to die out, here's a great option. And I knew I smelt these, the cinnamon scented pine cones. Does anybody else love these? I love them. I love this smell. It reminds me so much of the holidays. So when I walked by and this was wafting in the air, it made me so excited. And if you no longer like to put up a Christmas tree or don't want to fuss with one, look at this. Inside they have these Norfolk pines because while they do look evergreen, they are not cold tolerant. But they come with some decorative Christmas ornaments, and you can even add a little light string to it. And these are $24.98. So if somebody gifts you one of these, don't plant it outside. Here in the Northeast in my zone 6B, 7A, it would not survive. These are indoor plants. And they have these adorable little ones here of the Norfolk pines that are already set up to be a bit of a gift. And this one says, best teacher ever. So you could give this to a teacher for their desk. And it says, decorate me. And it has the little ornaments on that. So that's fun. And these are $6.98. So not a bad price. You can even add a little chocolate bar with it. Aldi makes great chocolate bars, and they're only like $1.29 or $1.49. So that and a candy bar would make a wonderful teacher gift for about 10 bucks. And the anthurium on the side can also serve as a gift, and these are $12.98 in a decorative little glass planter. Usually the blooms on these are red, and you'll see them around the holidays, and you'll also see them closer to Valentine's Day, and they'll sometimes have them in pink also. Oh, they've also received their amaryllis bulbs. So if you like to force these inside around the holidays, they also make really great gifts. They do have them available. So they have the single bulbs for $6.98, and then they have the decorative ones underneath that come with a little bit of a pop. I think it's plastic, I'm pretty sure, for $8.98. And they have the red lion variety. There's the apple blossom, which is the pink with the white. And sometimes they also have another one, Minerva. That's what it is. Here it is. So you can see the apple blossom, beautiful pink. The Minerva looks a bit of an orange red with some white and green in the center. And then the red lion, which is a really deep, beautiful red. So these look gorgeous for Christmas. And sometimes mine don't actually bloom until closer to Valentine's Day, which is also really pretty. Having any kind of bloom inside the house in the winter is such a gift. And they have paper whites, which, let me know in the comments if you like the smell of paper whites. I don't. I think they're really cute. They look like little daffodils. They might actually be part of the daffodil family, but they have a very pungent fragrance, very strong. With the paper whites, you get 6 bulbs for $6.98. And with the amaryllis, you get a single bulb for $6.98. And then you will get sometimes 1 stalk, sometimes 2 of really pretty blooms, large blooms. Now, the thing with amaryllis that is really cool is that everything that this plant needs to grow is contained in this bulb. You can see it's already pushing out its green growth there. So you can grow it in soil. Some people grow it in soil. Some just grow it in some water with some decorative rocks, and maybe some moss on top. So a couple of ways that you can grow amaryllis. And these that come in the box here, they come with the amaryllis bulb, a plastic pot, and the growing medium for $8.98. I thought while we were here, we could take a look at some of their indoor decor as well. And they have some really pretty wreaths this year. I particularly like this one with the champagne taupe bow, and there's a really pretty woodland one. And what I love about these is that they're pre-lit, which is key, because if you don't have a plug near where you want to hang your wreath, that could become a problem, right? Where this one has a battery operated light and it has a timer. So it is on for 8 hours, off for 16. So you can turn it on when you want to turn it on, and then it'll have a memory to turn on at that same time every day. And this is a 30-inch wreath here. It's a mixed pine wreath, and you have some beautiful like pine cones and ornaments and berry picks with a pretty bow that's edged in pearls for $49.98. Now, you couldn't buy the green wreath form and all of these beautiful picks, the bow, the lights, and so forth for less than that. So I think that's a really great price. I can give you the names of these in case you want to look them up online. So this first one here with this decorative plaid bow and the vintage Santa is called the Festive Santa wreath, also 30 inches and pre-lit. This gold one here is called the Meadow wreath, Elegant Meadow. And then there is this one here with a velvet red bow in the poinsettias and some classic ornaments here for also $49.98. These are all $49.98. This one is called the Berry Bliss. And then this one here is my aesthetic. I really love kind of like a rustic woodland Christmas decor theme. And this one here with this plaid bow and some eucalyptus and some pine cones is called the Woodmore. And also 30 inches pre-lit for $49.98. And look what they have right underneath. They have the matching garland, which is amazing. Look at that. It is also a 9-foot battery operated mixed pine pre-lit garland with timer. So pretty. Let's see if we can try it out and see what it looks like. There you go. There are the lights. So these are awesome. I've had my decor, some of my garlands and my Christmas tree for upwards of 10 years, and my ornaments. So these things, I mean, a lot of people don't like artificial decor, but there's something to be said for buying it once and having it for years to come. And the thing that I like the most about having artificial decor inside, as much as I love real evergreens, is that they don't make a mess, right? They don't drop all those messy pine needles. Something I want to mention about these wreaths here is that they're squished in these boxes. So when you see that they're 30 inches and you take them out of the box, you might think they're closer to 24 inches, but that just means that you have to fluff them up. You have to play with the branches, kind of bend them, because they're all wire, right? So just kind of like fluff it all out, and then you'll end up getting close to that 30-inch diameter. I used to buy these for my kids every year for them to wear to school, but I would get them at the Dollar Tree. So the Dollar Tree, this is an item they often have, these little battery operated flashing light necklaces. They're $6.98 here, but they would be $1.25 there. And check out this beauty. This is the Woodmore wreath in a 36-inch, so it's much larger. It also is battery operated and pre-lit. So this would look beautiful hanging above a fireplace, above the mantle. You could get the garland for the mantle. You could get this for above, hanging on the fireplace. And then you wouldn't have to have strings of lights hanging everywhere, right? Because they're already wrapped into the greenery and they're battery operated, which is amazing. I really love that option of having the pre-lit and not having to worry about having a plug nearby. So $59.98 for the Woodmore 36-inch pre-lit wreath. They even have the Woodmore mixed pine LED pre-lit wreath in a 48-inch. So if the 36-inch is too small, you can even get a 48-inch. And that one is $99. Here are some more garlands, and this one here is plain, so you can decorate it how you see fit. And this is that nice, thick, artificial evergreen that looks pretty real, as opposed to some of these that look more like the plastic pipe cleaners, right? But this one here is a Noble Fir LED pre-lit garland, also with a timer. It takes D batteries. It looks like it takes 2 D batteries, which are sold separately, and it has 50 micro fairy lights, and the options are twinkle and steady. And 9 feet for $29.98. And they have some of these others here called the Kingston Fir LED Pre-Lit Garland, 9 foot. And these are plug-in ones. They're not battery operated, for $12.98. So they're a little bit less money. And then they also have some wreaths up above. And these do not have lights on them. And they do have some decorative poinsettias and eucalyptus leaves, $14.98. It says 24-inch, but if you look at it, it looks closer to a 12-inch. That's because it needs some fluffing up. They have some potted trees here. There's a 4-foot Fraser fir and what looks to be a whiskey barrel planter right at the bottom there. And that is $79. And then there is the 4-foot potted spruce in a black pot for also $79. And then here is another of those really beautiful, large 36-inch battery-operated wreaths. And this is the Berry Bliss. And that one is also $59.98. So it looks like all of the wreaths that they're carrying this year come in a 30-inch, a 36-inch, and a 48-inch. And they have a few really pretty ones to choose from. Look at this adorable inflatable with Santa and the reindeer. They're doing cheers with their cups of hot cocoa. Adorable. That is $149 for that inflatable. And then they have this little mouse with a cookie. Reminds me of the book, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. So cute. And then there's the milkshake with the penguin and the snowman. There are also some really beautiful artificial trees. I've had my Martha Stewart Christmas tree for upwards of 10 years, like I said, but they have some really pretty ones. Each year, they look closer and closer to the real thing. It's a really pretty Santa. Look at that. And then even that reindeer is really cool. We'll take a look at a few of them. So this one here is the 7.5-foot LED sparkling Amelia Pine for $2.99. And this one has those flocked tips and some glitter and some pine cones. I always feel like the glitter, even though I don't love glitter, I feel like on holiday decor, it makes the lights sparkle a bit more. Like it almost like reflects light. This one here is a 7.5-foot LED Jackson Noble Fir, and it is slim. So for those of us who don't have, too much space to put a tree, that would work really well because it is more narrow. $199 for that one. And then here they also have this 7.5-foot Jackson Noble Fir for $2.99. And what I like about these is a lot of the newer varieties also have the ability to go colored lights and white lights, which is great because I prefer the white lights. My kids like the colored lights. So while they're awake, we have the colored lights on. And when they go to bed, Mom gets to enjoy her tea with the white lights. And look at this beautiful flocked one. Also a 7.5-foot Kenwood Fraser Fir flocked for $349. And it has the really pretty kind of warm white lights. which I prefer to the kind of blue tinted ones. And I have another one in the back in a 9-foot. So it looks like all of these 7.5-foot trees, they also have in a 9-foot version right behind it. So the 9-footer is $4.99. This one here is really beautiful. The Elegant Grand Fir, 7.5-foot for $3.99. And it looks really like close to the real thing. Look how beautiful these tips are. It's nice and full. And then they have the Elegant Grand Fir right behind it in the 9-foot height for $5.99. I had to come and check out how much the Santa was, and he is $2.99. And look at that beautiful lantern. It's called the 8-foot giant-sized LED towering Santa. And while we're at it, we may as well look at his sidekick, right? Look at this beautiful reindeer. The reindeer is also $2.99, and it's an 8.5-foot giant-sized LED towering reindeer. And the toy soldier, which would round out that trio, the 8-foot giant life-size animated toy soldier for $2.49. And some cool giant ornaments, a 3-piece jumbo ornament set for $149. And that's a really pretty nativity scene up there. It's 5.5 foot, must be width and probably height too because it's circular, for $129. It's really beautiful. I love the neutral colors of it. And some pretty decorative rugs too, doormats. Look at that. So they have them for $12.88. They're an 18 by 30 inch. And there are all the styles that they have. The pine trees I really like. The postcard one, snowmen, Noel. There's some really pretty ones. This one is really nice. And they have some holiday trains for under your tree. Last year when I had an episode of Hooked and Rooted at Home, I had shown my Christmas tree where I did have a train, a holiday train under my tree, and I had gotten some questions about it. And this time of year, you can typically find some holiday trains at places like Home Depot and Lowe's. Now, I don't see the version that I have, which is just a red and green train, but they do have this Mickey Mouse set. It's a 36-piece train set. Collector's edition, has 20 feet of track. So if you have children or grandchildren that like Mickey Mouse, this would be adorable. My boys still like when I put up the tree with the train underneath. So that's what that set looks like. And then they also have the Grinch one right underneath, which also comes with all of those pieces. So it's really fun for the kids to put together. And they usually have lots of sound and Christmas music, which makes it lots of fun. So $49.98 for these. A couple of years ago, I had bought one of these for my husband for Christmas, and he actually loves it. So I thought that I would show it to you. It is a little snow cab, and basically you attach it to your snowblower. So if it's snowing and it's really cold out, it kind of gives them a little shelter to be inside when they're snow blowing. Now, I had ordered mine online. I had never seen it in store, and we've had ours, like I said, for probably upwards of 5 years now, but it makes a really great gift for someone who has everything, right? It's really hard to shop for husbands and dads, and this is just one of those things that you wouldn't necessarily think of, right? This one is by a brand called Arnold, and there are all the snowblower brands that it would fit. So it's like a universal fit, and these are $99. Here's another item that would make a fun and unexpected gift. It is a handy heater. It's a wearable personal heater. How good would this be at the ballpark, right? If you have kids in sports, or even if you're going to like a football game in the winter. It's adjustable. So they make these for fans too, right? So if you're going to Disney, or if you're a person who's at that certain age that gets really hot and you need a fan all the time. I know I love having a fan running and get warm easily. But look, so now they have the heater version as well. And these here are $29.98. Well, that brings us to the end of the November inventory here at the Home Depot. I hope that you've enjoyed checking out what my store has in stock, and I hope that you can find some of these items near you. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I will catch you in the next one.